diversity and race, and I just put white human.
White human?
Yes.
Yes.
I never understood why they had black with no Hispanic descent, white with no Hispanic descent, Hispanic, Latino, and then two or more races not Hispanic. I'm black and Puerto Rican, so I'm black with Hispanic descent. So I always have to put Latino then black on race.
So you're human.
Yeah,
That's what I always put,
try to be.
literally.
When I was in the military, my first duty station, I love this picture. I was stationed in Berlin, which, oh, there's a picture. I usually put the picture up there and I say, what does that look like to you? But you don't have to answer that.
Disney World.
But if you think of it, this was,
grain silo.
this was on Devil's Mountain, Teufelsberg in Berlin. It was a mountain, so-called, that was constructed out of the rubble from World War II. That's where they piled up all the bombed out buildings and everything. And then they had the idea of building a communications, so-called, site. Let's face it, NSA was in charge of it, right?
And nobody said, no, we shouldn't build this.
In that way,
Well, this is Kennedy.
maybe we can just put the
John F.
buildings on one side
Yeah.
and a giant pillar on the other.
Yeah.
Maybe two separate buildings.
Yeah, something.
Well, you could see that into East Germany, even Poland. We could see Poland. I could see Poland from my house. And my daughter was actually born in Berlin too, which is cool. But the Polish people could see that every morning when they looked out and they saw, there's the Americans over there. So if you think about that, that really shows that Americans have a great sense of humor.
It's a monument to the
It's actually still there, although it's really deteriorating, and the Germans are trying to figure out what they want to do with it. Notice the similarity, by the way. That's just one of those subliminal devices that teachers can use to keep people awake, right? You put phalluses up on the board. People don't know why they're awake, but they are. And in high school, you really can't tell people about that. They don't let you back. But so I was stationed there in 80, 81, and 82. So the end of Carter and beginning of Reagan. Those are presidents. This is
Yeah.
19 something, right?
way back.
Well, yeah.
When people actually do.
So I was a Russian linguist. That's why they posted me there. But I also passed my German test and my French test. I was there. So you, by the way, thank you. You're still paying me for Russian, German, and French. No, my Russian is awfully rusty. My German is actually still passable. I have more use for that than French. I listen to Franz von Kapp all the time. Доброе утро, товарищ. Как дела?
I only know little.
Um,
Some words.
Я еще говорю немножко по-русски. Я читаю почти каждый день. Правда, известий. I think one of those is gone. Pravda is still on. So that was my. So foreign languages. If you think about it, I introduced to foreign languages in a serious way. It was my first career. And before that, I had Latin in high school. I was raised Roman Catholic, so I had 2 years of Latin. I'm all masamat, manas man, zum es es, zum es es sun. That's all I remember. Had a little Greek. Had French. And while I was a linguist for the military, I was tested in 10 languages every year, which we were required to be at least familiar with. European languages, but including Farsi. So that was interesting. So I really became quite confused, and eventually come to realize that these symbolic systems that we think of as human languages, definition of a language, a dialect with an army. Love it. It's true. And if you lived in Germany, you know that they speak differently in Schwabenland in the south. Bayerisch, Bavarian is very different. Hochdeutsch is kind of, the universal thing. My daughter, I have 2 daughters. My other daughter asked me yesterday, how come we don't have an accent?
Well, when speaking in any other language, we do.
Well, I made fun of being from Philly, I can do Philly, Thank you. I can do Texan. Thank you. Doim, I can speak, Brooklyn, Paktika, You can still tell various accents from around the U.S. when you hear different people, right? Those are dialects. But what makes a particular dialect kind of like, well, that's correct English? Notice, I love the scare quotes. I'm scared of you being mad at me for saying this is normal English, because you might think, well, what makes you think it's normal? I'm safe. Don't hurt me. Language. Which is the true human language? Jean-Jacques Rousseau famously thought French was really the true human language, and to test it locked an infant in a closet for 4 years. And when it came out, thought it was going to speak French. Poor kid. No, it didn't work, actually. Believe it or not, there are folks that believe that God speaks in Arabic. So any other translation of the Quran is not the real Quran, because that's not the language that God speaks. It's not my fault. But that seems absolutely stupid, doesn't it, to think that way?
Of course, God speaks in English, we don't know that.
Actually, God speaks in binomial,
Does it really matter?
He speaks in binary.
Does it really matter? Binary code. Well, it does, actually. That's the real problem, because if we link particular cultural traits, particular cultural norms, moral norms, which have evolved associated with particular linguistic things, the whole idea that we think of ourselves as the best culture, morally best culture, where do we get the right to choose that, right, and impose it on other people? Well, if we look at what makes it seem so absolutely logical and correct to us, it turns out to be based in our grammatical structures, which, kind of, why don't other cultures think that women should be equal to men?